I want to show you this right here, everybody, because to me, receipts matter. This is the congressional map from 1984. Okay, this is what happened when Reagan just wiped clean Mondale and literally had one. I think this is the greatest win of a Republican in the history of America. Nobody has ever come close to how much Reagan won. You want to know what happened after this election and the prior elections? You want to know why the Democrats love the illegals so much? When you look at the past unauthorization of illegals coming into America, here is a chart of the elections. Unestimated unauthorized population. This is the illegals in the United States. From 1960 to the 1970s, it was 1.2 million. In the 1980s, it jumped up to 2.2 to 3.5 million. Reagan wins in 1984. Wins the next presidential election? Well, 1988. What happens after? Check this out. From 1990 to 2007, an exponential increase because they knew they could never let it happen again of losing so bad where almost every single state besides two went for Reagan. And look at this, ever since from 1990 to 2007, how do you go from one decade to the next of 2 to 3.5 million to 3.5 to 12.2 million to 10.5 to 11 million to 11 million to 13.4 million? This was Justin Biden's because they know that's how they win. They get their congressional seats, they get their federal funding, they get the NGOs, they get the illegals coming in, they give them amnesty, and that's how they win their elections. It's not coincidence that this happened. Look at this. When after Reagan won as big as he did. So when we show you these receipts of how important it is to the Democrats that illegals are here, the facts speak for themselves, everybody. You cannot deny this. It's not coincidental. When this happened, they knew that without a shadow of a doubt, they had to get more people in here and they had to buy their votes with taxpayer benefits, SNAP, Medicaid, housing, anything that they could give them. And that's exactly what they did. That's why this is so important. That's why the SAVE Act is so important. And that's why we have to get back our country.
That's why we have to get back our country. Welcome to the JJ Carrell Show. I'm a little ticked off today, so bear with me. I see things differently because I'm law enforcement. I live it. I live this insanity. I live this diversity. I live in a world that is right in front of me of everything that's wrong. Let's go back. Everything that man said is correct, except the numbers of illegal aliens. Okay, and I don't begrudge him because he's not in my world. He doesn't know what I know, but everything else he's spot on. The absolute destruction of our country began in 1965, the Hart-Celler Act, where it turned off the spigot to European nations, white nations that were Christian. And we turn on the floodgates of Latin America, the Middle East, and the continent of Africa. The vast majority, Muslims. The vast majority, mentally retarded. The vast majority, no skill sets at all. And we flooded our nation with them. When Ronald Reagan was president, there was about, they claim, 2 to 3 million people. Well, what Ronald Reagan did in the 80s is he did mass amnesty. What turned out to be, well, there's only 3 or 4 million people in America illegal. We're only going to give 1.2, 1.5, maybe 2 million max amnesty. Well, they gave millions of people amnesty. There were more people than that. And you flooded and you made a magnet. Now, Ronald Reagan said almost to his death that this was a major mistake. He should never trusted the Democrats. Am I supposed to believe throughout history, through the lies of history, that Ronald Reagan was a dummy, that Ronald Reagan got bamboozled by the Democrats? Or was our great conservative leader, not a great conservative leader? Maybe that's a question historians should look at. Because what Ronald Reagan did is he destroyed the demographics of America. He put it on steroids and he killed the state of California. The state of California was majority white for decades, since the inception. Reliably red every presidential election. I lived in Southern California. The whole state of California was a predominant Republican governor always. Everyone from LA down was a hardcore Republican. We had super majorities in our city councils, mayors, congressmen were red Republicans. Now the whole state of California is completely blue, 100% blue. How is that? Why did that happen? The great Pat Buchanan stated it perfectly in multiple of his books and discussions. When you import the third world and they have allegiances to other nations and they reproduce like rabbits, they will outnumber you, and then they will make laws and they will change policy and they will do everything they can to facilitate and ease the burden of their people, the Mexicans. And that's what happened. That is exactly what happened. We did not go from, as that man said, 1.2, 1.3 million to 5 million. Let me tell you how it went when I was in the Border Patrol. I came in the Border Patrol in 1997. From 1997 to about 2005, 2007, almost a decade, all I heard was 5 to 6 million. 5 to 6 million illegal aliens, 5 to 6 million illegal aliens. And I would watch and go on detail to Arizona, and it was a night of living dead. There were thousands of people pouring across the border every day, all day. And the number 5 million to 6 million never stopped. It just stayed there for a decade. It never grew. I saw thousands every single day, and yet the number never changed, and I knew it was a lie. Come around 2007, 2008, 2009, the number changed overnight, literally overnight. Somebody snapped their fingers and said, well, the number's 10 to 11 million. And every single person jumped and said, hell yeah, that's 10 to 11. And I remember thinking, you guys can't, you politicians, media, all you people, you can't agree on anything. You can't even agree what day of the week it is. And yet you all instantly say, yep, that's right, 10 to 11. And the reason why they do that is because you can't stomach, America, you cannot stomach the real number. You couldn't stomach it then during Ronald Reagan, and you couldn't stomach it during Bush, and you sure in the hell can't stomach it now under President Trump. And isn't it interesting that I just named 3 Republican presidents? I didn't talk about Obama, Biden, Clinton. Don't need to. Republicans allow this to happen. And then 2019 pours around. Nothing's really changed. Donald Trump starts to close the border in around 2020 because the Republicans in the House under Paul Ryan and under the Senate under the dead piece of bag of skin, Mitch McConnell, did everything they could to stop the building and funding of the border wall in order for us to be continually invaded. In 2019, Yale and MIT did a study, and they took all this demographic data and jammed it into an algorithm and ran that algorithm 1 million times. And it came out with a number of a high of 29 million, a mean, an average of 22 million, and everybody jumped on that number. So we went from 10 to 11 million to 22 million literally overnight. And I knew the number was closer to 30 million. Joe Biden comes into office. Everyone agrees it's 22 million. He opens the border and he admits, his government admits that they allowed in 18 million people. We're at 40 million now, people. You feeling a little sick to your stomach? I know without a shadow of a doubt from all of my experience, all of my research, talking to all my colleagues, they all laugh when we hear that there was 2 to 3 million people crossed the border in 4 years, undetected and absconded. We know that's a lie. We know that number is closer to 15 to 18 million people. I believe, through my numbers, I believe that Joe Biden allowed in 30 million people in 4 years. But I just want that to hang out there for a little bit. You take that 30 million and you plus it, you add it to the 22 million that were already here. You're at 52 million. I feel confident if I ever had to go in front of those lying bastards in Congress and testify, I would easily testify that the number is 50 million illegal aliens. I would also feel very comfortable going up to as high as 75 million. There are people that are claiming there's 90 million. I feel very strong on 50 to 55 million. And then you layer on top of that another 50, 55 million legal immigrants that come here. The vast majority overstay, but they're still here. So you have a roughly 105 to 110 million foreign nationals inside of our country. Don't you think America's doing great? We're thriving, aren't we? We're doing wonderful, aren't we? Everybody feel joyous? Everybody feels hopeful? You like seeing the stock market go up and down? You like seeing gas now higher than it was under Joe Biden? Let's just be honest. I can't go get fast food if I'm rushing with my son and I for under $25. Just two kids, two adult and a son, getting 2 burgers, 2 fries, 2 drinks, $25. Thank you. My wife comes back from the grocery store and she's like, look what I got. It was $175. She's carrying like 3 or 4 plastic bags. Not giant plastic bags, the plastic bags. $170, $190, $200 used to fill your entire grocery cart. We have an infrastructure built in the United States of America. Housing, school, education, healthcare, facilities like water, electricity, built for 350 million people. 450 plus million people are using everything that we built for 350 million. Do you think that there's a housing shortage? You could tie housing shortages to the number of illegal and legal immigrants in America? Do you think so? Do you think there's an overcrowding problem in school? Do you think there's a correlation to the tens of thousands of people that we brought into the country and had children? They have their children and their illegal alien children going to our schools. Do you think that we are our Department of Education, which should have already been defunded and abolished, but has not yet? Do you think that those costs did not, that ballooning costs had nothing to do with the thousands and thousands and thousands of English as a second language teachers? You think our test scores that are in the toilet, they're in the 100 percentile of countries, like number 100 and dropping, because we brought in the best and the brightest? You brought in people that have the IQ, the average IQ of under 70 in the continent of Africa, in the Middle East. In Latin America, you're about 75, 80. Do you know we changed? This is a fact. Look it up. We changed the mental retardation level of IQ from around 80 to 85 back in the 80s. Why did we do that? Because that number of 85 below captured too many minorities. The minorities that we brought into this country by the millions. So I need you to understand, and I don't care how this sounds, and because it's not malicious, it's just factually true. Our government, our treasonous, bastardous government, brought in 50 million people with the IQ of under 70. They brought in people that are mentally retarded or on the cusp of retardation. I lived this. This is not something that I made up. I lived it. If I had $1 for every person I talked to that didn't know how to read, write, did not even know how to think, they just don't function like a normal human functions. If I got $1 for every time I arrested someone like that, I would be a multimillionaire. Do you think that everything that's happened in America negatively is just by itself like an anomaly? Can you not connect any dots? Can you not, America, can you not do any critical thinking at all? Are you incapable of critical thinking? I think the answer is yes. I think you are incapable of critical thinking. Jail's packed with these people. And I want you to know, as someone in law enforcement and dealt with this for decades, do you know your state and local won't even pull over illegal aliens? And if they do come in contact with them, whatever they're doing, they release them. Do you know why? Because the power structure, the law enforcement structure that's in place will not deal with them. They will not. So they just release them. There is an expectation to follow laws in America for Americans. Everyone else is exempt. I think if you talk to law enforcement guys, I'm not talking your administrative geeks that did nothing. I'm talking guys that are on the street, cops that are driving their cruisers, they're on foot, they're in the street doing the job. Highway patrol, pulling people over, going to accidents, DUI checkpoints. Talk to federal law enforcement officers that are in the crap every single day. Not your FBI guys that haven't made a case in 20 years. They go in a suit and tie and they've never done a damn thing in their life. I'm not talking about the DEA agents that are in the office. I'm talking about the guys that are making drug deals and arresting. I'm not talking about the ATF that sit there and just cobble together years and retire. I'm talking about guys that are going undercover and taking down bikers. I'm talking about the guys that have done this job. I am telling you, you talk to someone like that, and they are going to shoot you straight, and you're going to be blackpilled, and you are going to feel, well, they've just lived a horrible life, and they are so jaded. No. You know what we say to each other? You people, you sheep out there, you have no idea the danger you're in. You have no idea that one day some savage is going to walk into your little bubble and they're going to burst it. And you sit there, you grotesque in the bubble Americans, and you think that everything's going to be okay. You think that everything's going to just be swimmingly. That map that was almost red except Minnesota, and Trump, Reagan didn't challenge it out of the goodness of his heart for embarrassment for Mondale. You can see Minnesota's been a complete liberal shithole for a long, long time. America is becoming balkanized by race, ethnicity, language, religion, sexual perversion, ideology. And I see it. I live it where I live. I live in a almost 100% white community. Just the way it goes. And I'm not going to apologize for it. So you can go pound sand. I work in non-white places. You couldn't pay me. You couldn't pay me. You can give me a piece of property in these neighborhoods and I could retrofit it and make it just spectacular. You couldn't give me a house for free, and you couldn't pay me the equivalent of my mortgage every month, like in cash, for me to move my family into those shitholes. No way in hell would my family be subjected to that criminality, that insanity, that diversity. No no, and no. Not going to do it. Nope. And I'm not going to apologize for it either. Why do all the blacks that become successful, why don't they stay? They're running. Hispanics running like they're in a Olympic sprint. This is America now. Do you understand that? Our inner cities are just complete wastelands. I can't drive into LA. Have you been to LA lately? Dear God. You need to go in downtown Dallas? You need to go into New Orleans? You need to go to New York City? Chicago? Phoenix? Kansas City, for God's sake? Where are you going to go? What big city? You going to go to San Francisco? You going to go downtown San Diego too? You going to go to Atlanta? You think it's time to wake up? You think it's time to wake up, America? And maybe just maybe see what we've done to ourselves, how we've destroyed our nation. I found this clip and it made amazing sense to me. This is why I love X. I'll just tell you, they are my search engine. I don't trust Google. That Google is so skewed. It would take me literally hours to find anything that I'm looking for. It is so PC. It is so anti-white. It is so anti-American. It is so repulsive. X, I can go on there and I can find things. Not just find them. I could find endless. And this guy, this young man, he talks about Aristotle and diversity. And listen to the great thinker, philosopher, as if he's speaking about America today.
Aristotle believed in something very strongly that would get him canceled today. He argued that unity, specifically cultural and ethnic, requires similarity, not diversity. He wrote that cities with too many types of different people struggle to achieve harmony, specifically as it relates to politics. His reasoning was simple: shared customs, languages, and values create stronger bonds. When people are too different, they have competing interests, conflicting loyalties, and no common ground. Aristotle believed that homogeneity is the foundation of cooperation, that diverse populations would fracture into factions, and that these factions would compete for power, and that they would turn on each other under pressure. He was observing reality. Rome, Austria-Hungary, the Ottomans, every empire that tried to hold together vastly different people with few things in common eventually collapsed. And now look at what's happening with the US and the UK. Different doesn't mean stronger. It just means different. And when crisis comes, different stops cooperating and starts competing. Aristotle saw it 2,300 years ago. Was he wrong?
No, he wasn't wrong. Nope. Well, we're a melting pot, JJ. Can't you see that? We're not a melting pot. We're not a stew. And even if we were a stew, what kind of stew are we? You look in the pot and you're like, what in the hell is that mess? You got bricks, tires, a car chain, a toilet seat. I'm not eating that. Yeah, but we're a melting pot. We're like a stew. Everyone's going to take a bite of this. We're all going to love it. It's going to, no. I'm about to vomit just from the stench of it. No, we're going to eat it. No, I'm not eating it. Maybe my father's generation and part of mine agreed to this. I've never agreed to it. I've always seen it. Even as a young man, I've always seen that this is going to be the downfall of the United States of America. And I grew up in a great time, 70s and 80s and 90s, man. Outside of Jimmy Carter and his incompetence and the Democrats are just, they're either grossly incompetent or they're just stone cold evil. One of the two, it doesn't matter. It still sucks. But see, the Republicans, at least you get some you got a little hope, even though it's false hope, and you have to deal with gutless men. That's just the truth. A few hot chicks, but mainly just gutless old white men. Aristotle's absolutely correct. You can't. Maybe let's go back biblically, because I love this. I love when people say, "Well, this is not Christ-like." No. Hold on. Do you think that God made all of these different people, and all these different people were in their own countries, speaking their own language and having their own cultures? Do you think that the divine power, the divine providence, God, was that just like a mistake he made? Do you really think that was just some mistake that he made? That he separated everybody? Or do you think that was planned? You think there's some natural order to that? I'm not saying we can't go to Africa and see a safari. Can't say that Africans can't come here and go on vacation, go to Disneyland, see what it's like to have running water and toilet paper and how to flush a toilet. I get that. I understand that someone from Colombia or Ecuador or Mexico, they can't come up here and go to on vacation and go to our beaches without having their beaches filled with sewage and then people walking and driving by and shooting and killing you. I get that. We all can have that. We can go down to Baja California for cheap lobster and get killed at the same time if we want to do that. I'm not saying we can't have movement of people, but the idea that God created this world and separated everybody for all of us to say, no, God is stupid. No, you know what? There is no God. So I don't know how all this, it was just a big bang and see everybody just got exploded and went to certain parts of the world. Let's bring everybody together. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to have great food. We're going to have different type of people to look at. It's going to be wonderful. Really? How's it working? How? Honestly, let's have an honest discussion. How has it worked? What are the fruits of what you planted? Come on. I need it. How is it in America, for example? Well, the population, the white population has decreased to the point that they're almost minority. Well, how's that worked? Well, we brought in all the third world mentally retarded people. Well, how's that work? Come on, you still haven't answered me. How has America, has it become better or not? Well, there's better food. Really, who has better food? The Somalis, where they eat with their fingers and hands? That we've devolved into eating with our hands again, eating what looks like poop. That's what, or some Indian curry. That's what I've destroyed my nation for. Is looks like feces that I eat with my hand and curry that smells so much that it's unbelievable. That's what I gave away my country for. To see women wearing burqas. That's what I did. To see Christianity die and Muslim Islam rise. To see Jews come in my country and take over everything. That's America now. That's the American dream. That now my son, as he going into high school, is going to be going to college soon. Now he has to compete with foreign nationals, 600,000 of them just from China alone, to go to school. Why? Why is my son, and I've been to these schools, I've gone to school with Chinese people. They don't even speak English. What the hell's going on here? How are they in my classes? Why are there so many? They're all spies. What does diversity look like? I don't have to wonder because I can show you. Here's a picture of a young, I'm going to set this up for you. A young man, just a piece of shit man. His parents came over here in the great Afghan flood into America. They must have had some money because they have a $2 million house in New Jersey, and their son, I am assuming, born here in America, an anchor baby, is throwing bombs like grenades in crowds in New York City into police officers. Here's 5-second video. I'm going to show you in clips. This is 5 seconds. Watch closely. This is diversity. We need more of it. Now I'm going to show you from another angle, and this makes it even better because this I get to kill two birds with one stone, and I'm going to show you this is and this makes me even. I'm going to pull it up and just so you can see his face. This is called a white liberal, and white liberals are traitors to our race and our country. They're mentally ill. They're effeminate. But this guy's 100% effeminate. And I want you to listen to what he's saying. He's talking about no one's illegal and no one's going to be removed from New York City. And guess where the bomber? See that guy, that video I showed you, he threw that bomb, that homemade nail bomb at the police. Well, he also threw it into a crowd. And the way he had to throw it, wait till you see who he throws it over. I mean, you can't make this shit up.
You don't live in New York. You're coming to New York to tell people who belongs in New York and who doesn't belong in New York. We were born and raised in New York, and we want everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
Okay, you can't. Okay, look at that effeminate. Now, I see a face like that. The only thing that pops to my mind is my father saying, "Son, that is a face that needs to be punched." He sat there, this jackass, this piece of trash, this effeminate man is sitting there telling me and you that see that savage right there? You see that savage right there? Afghani Mohammed Saeed Abdu Bala Bala Yabba Dabba Doo. He's got a bomb in his hand and he's jumping over the white man. He's pushing the white man down. Boy, the symbolism is so amazing. And he's going over top of him, screaming Allah Akbar, and is throwing bombs at white people in New York City. You cannot make this up. Let's look at the face of the white man one more time. Oh, this is the perfect face of an American white man. Fear, trepidation, absolute fear, because a man of color is more dominant, more alpha, more strong, will die for his cause. This man, he will lose his mind if he doesn't get his frappuccino at a certain temperature, at a certain time of day. Where you have other people, even though I know this Muslim's crazy, but aren't they all? He is going to die for his cause on a very weird level. I have respect for that. The face of this impotent guy's probably popping multiple Viagra to get involved in anybody, man, woman, or child. He is disgusting. He is everything that we should despise. We should hate this man more than we despise the Jews that are here that are destroying our country, and Benjamin Netanyahu, and all of the Muslims that are here in our country telling us they're going to kill us, and all of the illegal aliens that are raping and pillaging our women, our children, and killing our men. That face, those men are the problem. They're the problem. They are everything we hate. And I'm going to play this again because I need you. I'm going to drill this in. I want you to listen to this effeminate piece of trash and try to understand what is happening. That a Muslim, a savage Muslim from the disgusting third world shithole of Afghanistan, is throwing nail bombs in New York City. And this guy, this piece of trash, is his biggest supporter.
You don't live in New York. You're coming to New York to tell people who belongs in New York and who doesn't belong in New York. born here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
Impotence. This is the face for Viagra, the need for Viagra. This is the face for the need of testosterone shots. This man. Let's listen to the New York PD, whatever she is. I don't even know what the hell she is. Let's listen to this woman tell us about Allah Akbar here. Enjoy. We need more of it, more diversity. Give me more. I'm starving for it.
Qayyumi said in recorded post-arrest statements that he had watched ISIS propaganda on his phone and that his actions that day were partly inspired by ISIS. The complaint also details statements made by Amir Balat after his arrest. En route to the NYPD precinct, Balat made spontaneous statements without being questioned by NYPD officers that were captured on body-worn camera footage. He said, "This isn't a religion that just stands when people talk about the blessed name of the prophet. We take action, as well as, if I didn't do it, someone else will come and do it." And later, after waiving his rights, he requested paper and wrote a message declaring in part, "I pledge my allegiance to the Islamic State. Die in your rage, you kuffar." Now, "die in your rage" is a commonly known ISIS slogan, and kuffar is an Arabic term that refers to non-believers.
Oh, I thought it was a religion of peace. It's not a religion of peace? Are you sure? George Bush told us a religion of peace. Do you know that was made up? Did you know that? The whole entire Islam is religion of peace. No one from Islam has ever said that. The only person that said that was a retarded president, somebody that should never have been in the position. I mean, we had to suffer through Ronald Reagan, Ford. And then we had to suffer through Jimmy Carter. Then we had to suffer through our choices were John Kerry, looks like a monster, and George Bush that can't put 2, 3, 4 words together. God. You tell me that we don't live in a matrix, I'm gonna laugh right in your face. This guy's gonna get out of jail. Mondami is going to, he said, it's white supremacy. New York City, you deserve everything you get. It is a dump. New York City's a dump anyway, an absolute dump. Every time I go there, I swear I'm never going back. It's a dump. Have you had enough? Like the title of my show, how much more can America take? How much more can America take? It's a question I can't answer. I'll be honest with you. I can't answer. My sponsor for my show every day is sat123.com. Sat123.com. You need to be prepared. We had a wild tornado warning the other night. Luckily, no tornadoes touched down. But what if they did? Do I have a generator? Yes, I do. Is it solar paneled? Yes, it is. Do I have Starlink? Yes, I do. I have sat phones? Yes, I do. I'm ready. I'm prepared. I wonder if anyone in Israel or Iran would like to have a ballistic backpack, a generator, sat phone. Well, Jay, that's never going to happen to us in America. Really? Really? Even if you don't believe the way I do or see things the way I do, a lot of you that watch me are mothers and fathers and grandparents. Do you need connectability with your grandchildren, with your sons and daughters, your wives? Yeah. You need that connectability. How do you get it? Well, you get it from sat phone. You jam a sat phone in your glove box, and that is your get out of jail. When something goes wrong and you can't get anyone, now you can. You call 911, you call your husband, call your wife. Sat 123, you get a $1,000, $1,500 sat phone for free. For free with less than $100 a month subscription. I think that's pretty good. I just do. Sorry. What's that? Maybe 4 days of coffee? 4 days of coffee and a Danish? sat123.com/JJ. Just go. I ask this all my only ask is go to the website and look at it. That's it. Just look at it and ask yourself, do I need this? You're gonna be pleasantly surprised, and you're gonna need it, and it's gonna be the highest quality, the absolute highest quality. My son is gonna go to high school next year. He's gonna bring his book bag that he's had for over 2 years. Has anybody bought a backpack for your kids that's lasted a full school year without having to thread it together or put bobby pins on it or some kind of shoelaces through it? The answer is no. I'm going on 3rd year with it, and it's ballistic. I mean, it's going to stop a bullet if it need be. Stat123.com/JJ. So what do? We keep importing. We do. We import more and more and more people because guess what happens? Every single time that we have a war, guess what we do? We blow up, we destroy everything in the country, and then we go, oh, they can't go to their neighboring Muslim shithole. No, we're going to put them in C-130s and fly them into America unvetted by the tens of thousands, and then they're going to have enclaves like Little Mogadishu, and then we're going to get an Ilhan Omar. Oh, you know what? Hell, that sounds like the best damn decision ever. Let's have more of it. Can I have some more of that slop? Please? I love it. I love the Somali food. I want to eat with my hands for the rest of my life. I want to dig my hands into what looks like feces and eat it with a smile on my face. More of it, please. Israel's going to blow up, so we need more Jews. Iran has been blown to smithereens. We need more Muslims from Iran. Isn't that what we need? Aren't they the biggest terrorist sponsor of terrorism? Have the most terrorists? Yeah, but let's bring them all into America. Why are we at war with Iran? Well, because our greatest ally, the ally that hates Jesus Christ, that mocks him, the same ally that has gotten us into 30 years, at least the last 30 years of war, and have destroyed us economically, have to come in and destroyed us so societally too, and culturally. Give me some more of that. Give me as much Israeli crap as you can. Here's some for you to kind of digest that they're our greatest ally, the people that despise Jesus Christ. Let's listen to them. We need more of it, please. President Trump, give me more Jews in Israel. Please, I haven't had enough.
Conservative Christian leaders are calling on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to stop a bill proposed by members of his coalition to make it criminal to tell people about Jesus in Israel. Our Jerusalem correspondent Daniel Cohen is live near Tel Aviv with more. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, Allison. Good morning, everyone. A big story just before days before Palm Sunday, Good Friday, and Easter. Sacred time for Christians. 2 ultra-Orthodox members of Prime Minister Netanyahu's coalition have introduced a bill that would punish believers for sharing the gospel of Jesus with prison time. United Torah Judaism Knesset members Moshe Gafni and Yaakov Asher introduced legislation last week making it illegal to share in conversation or produce content online, in print, or by mail. Their explanation of the bill emphasizes a warning to stop Christians in particular. The punishment, 1 year in prison or 2 years for sharing with someone under the age of 18.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Mr. Trump, Mr. President, can I have more of that? Please. Please. I need more Jews in my country. More. I need you to eradicate the white race and the black race. I need them. I need American blacks and whites. I need them destroyed. Please bring in more and more. Oh, let's listen to a rabbi make fun of our Savior Jesus and mock us. I love these people. Can we get more of this, please? More, and more.
I wonder how dumb this goyim sometimes can be. Like they say, you killed our God. That means he wasn't a God. How can you kill a God? You know, man? How stupid you could be. You killed our God. Who was your God? JC. If he was God, we could kill him. I wonder how
Let's watch it again, shall we?
dumb this goyim sometimes can be. Like they say, you killed our God. That means he wasn't a God. How can you kill a God? You know, man? How stupid you could be. You killed our God. Who was your God? JC. If he was God, we could kill him.
You know what I would do? I like to smack that stupid little hat off your head. That's what I like to do. Well, our boys, God. Well, our boys, let me see if I can find this because, man, oh man, oh man. Well, I think I lost it. I'll show you this one instead. This should just really make you feel even more pissed off, but we need more of them, right? While our boys are dying in a war against Iran, let's look at what the IDF soldiers do when they bomb and blow up Christian churches. Do they have reverence for our Savior Jesus Christ and for his mother that we believe is sitting in a very, very prominent place in heaven because she gave birth to God? That'd be Mary. Do they show reverence to Jesus and Mary? I don't know. Let's see.
Oh, the great Mary! מי יחתן אותנו? קשו אליו. שם החתן? מוישה. שם הכלה? טוב, הגענו לערב הזה. הגענו לערב הזה אחרי כמה זמן של זוגיות? 6 שנים. כאן בטקס הזה. הרי אתה מוכן לשים את כל... אני מתנגד! אני מתנגד! שקט! שקט! סונין, אני אוהב אותך. אני אוהב אותך, סונין. אומרים. אני אוהב אומרים.
It's okay. I want more of them. Not just the Jews. See, I don't want just the Jews piling into our country, mocking Jesus, making fun of us. What I want is I want a combination. You see, I want a combination of as many Jews as we can get in our country with as many Muslims. I need as many Muslims as you can possibly get into America. And I want all of the women that come here, I want them to be segregated. And I want them in head-to-toe curtains because this is America, right? Well, let's take a look at Philadelphia. 3 mosques a year go up in Philadelphia. God, look what we've done to ourselves. Just so we're clear, One side is men and one side is women. Where's the feminist? How can you be segregated? Where the feminist? Oh, you feminists would never dare go in front of the Muslim men because they would slap you in your face, put you in your place. Get ready. There'll be more of them than us. They'll be stronger than us. On top of it's a horrible language. Excuse me, I'm allergic to that language. Reminds me of Ilhan Omar. God almighty. Give me more of that, President Trump. Hell, give me all the Iranians you can give me. I need it to look like this. This is Dearborn, 40,000 people. Give me more of it. Oh, God, I pray. I pray that the Iranians pour into America. We need more Muslims and Iranians. Yes, we do. Allah. Oh, that couldn't happen. That's just in Dearborn. Really? We have a mosque and Muslim problem now in Alabama. Alabama. Huh. Interesting how that spreads like that. Well, let's look at what's happened when you bring in all the retarded Somalians into America. Well, this is what your mall looks like. They used to be 100% white, but now, not so much.
What the fuck? They this bitch acting crazy. It's going up a little bit, man. It's going up. No, they ain't even tripping though.
Any white people, listen to the commentary. Do you understand what she's saying? Is that English? Is it English? And all of you lily white people, especially you liberals, if any of you liberals tune in or somebody sends you this and calls me all these racist names, I just have one question for you. You gonna let your kid go to that mall? You gonna let your little Cage or Tiffany? She gonna go to that mall? She gonna hang out in that mall? You're gonna buy a house in that neighborhood with those people? You know the Somalis. Let's just call it like it is. The Somalis that don't work, have learner centers, boarded up daycares making tens of millions of dollars a year. You're not sending your kids here. You're liars. I know all of you people. It's private schools, gated communities. You're self-righteous. You're pieces of scum. You would never go. You wouldn't even walk in this mall.
What the fuck?
Okay, I gotta. What is this? Can I go? What is this? Why are young boys wearing dirty nightshirts? Can somebody explain that to me? Could we just, for the love of God, could any of you people, any of you immigrants, could you just assimilate? Do you know how much better America would be if you just assimilated? You came from a shithole country with shithole amenities and from shithole nothing. And you come here and you continue to do your shithole ways. We've had it with you. You're vile.
They just whooped this nigga ass. This nigga mouth bleeding and shit. They just jumped this nigga, boy. This nigga sad as hell.
Damn, we try to kick y'all out. Y'all like, whoop his ass again. That nigga got his ass whooped right there. Y'all jawing and shit.
You think this is you think that this is just not going to happen to you, to your family, to your culture, to your state? You really believe that? If you listen to me or see my show or read what I write, you know that I believe 100% that everything that's happening in America is connected. Everything. I don't see anything that is not interconnected. It all is. Why? Why has our nation devolved into such chaotic third world crap? Why have we destroyed our demographics? Why have we destroyed our economics? Why are our boys dying in wars for Jews in Israel? Why are we fighting Muslims in the Middle East 7,000 miles away? Why then are we bringing all of those Muslims, Jews, third worlders into our country? Why? 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 I have an answer for you. Because our government officials, all of them, not some of them, not maybe just, like 90, all of them are compromised. All of them are compromised. And I'm going to give you a taste from Tucker Carlson of how they could be compromised. Watch this, and it's powerful, and it's a damn good question. You can hear the angst and the frustration. This is why our nation is crumbling, because our politicians are compromised. They're sexual deviants, they're murderers, they're child rapists, and they're pedophile scum.
But how can you say that thousands of children were raped, but I'm not going to find out who raped them?
Yeah.
How can you say that?
I agree completely.
They said that. By the way, when Pam Bondi went on television and said, I have a videotape of kids getting abused, I followed this case closely, and I know a lot of the people involved, as I told you.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. I didn't know that. Really? Thousands of children got raped?
Yeah.
Who raped them? Where are the rapists? Like, why aren't they in jail? What? This is the Department of Justice.
Yes.
That is so crazy. This is honestly one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And I just think it's very dangerous to play around with this stuff. Like, very dangerous.
Well,
I don't want a revolution, but if you wanted a revolution, this is how you would act.
Yes, yeah.
But how can you say that thousands of children...
If you want a revolution, this is how you act. Maybe this is what they want. Maybe they want a revolution. But do you understand why? Do you understand? Do you have any understanding that this is why? How do you have Epstein? How do you run on Epstein, and then you call it a hoax? Then after you call it a hoax, and after your FBI, Dan Bongino and Kash Patel tell you there's nothing there, this is all a lie, he didn't traffic anybody. And after Pam Bondi said, no, there's thousands of videos of them raping children, and then she says they're not there. Then Donald Trump says, this is all a hoax. It's just all a hoax. What are you doing? You're so stupid. It's a hoax. You're so stupid. You're so stupid. And then he releases 3.5 million pieces of evidence. Well, is it a hoax or isn't it? And then he says, well, we have 3 more million pieces of evidence. Now we're not going to show you. Do you understand? We have been destroyed as a nation, economically, spiritually, culturally, societally, demographically, because the people that run it have been absolutely compromised. And who compromised them? Our government, our CIA, the nation of Israel, and Mossad. You may think that we live in a republic. You may think you are safe. You may think that it's all going to be unicorns and rainbows. It's not. Is there a revolution coming? Dear God, I hope so.